Hello, my name is Jack. So I got a little hungry tonight. I thought I'd order some McDonald's off of DoorDash, and it occurred to me, well, I noticed as I was going to place the order, as I was scrolling down past item offers, before I got to the meat of the menu, so to speak, these reviews came up and an average rating of 4.4 stars. Now, this McDonald's is local to me, and I know my own personal experience with it is not all that satisfactory. So it got me wondering about the reviews, and I noticed a pattern when I went to go through them, and I went to see all. I started to notice that the better reviews, 4 or 5 star reviews, or one line, that aren't terribly informative, had no wait time. First of all, at this McDonald's, there is no way you had no wait time. I cannot believe how busy this McDonald's is at all hours of the day. I personally believe that people get the munchies, and this is the place that they hit the most. That or Taco Bell shortly up the way. So I know there's really not a time of day where you can go here and there is no wait. Even if they have both drive-thrus open, that line is often backed up to the street and then some. And it can get to the point where it's actually blocking the whole cross-section, intersection. Now, it's actually based on a public park and ride, so the road that it exits out onto isn't a terribly busy thoroughfare. But once blocked, they're going to have to use an entirely different entrance to get to there, or the Applebee's across the way from it. Basically, what I'm getting at is that this is not a McDonald's where you're ever going to find that there is no wait time. You might find your food fresh and warm. You're certainly going to find it at least warm. But I gotta say, I don't think fresh is guaranteed. And it's never really been my experience. I've at least been satisfied when the order has been gotten right. Now, I'm particular, and I speak up if I think an order has been done wrong. And I make it my own policy that I don't leave the drive-thru window until I'm confident that I have what I actually ordered. If not, I can go back and usually, in my experience, at least I haven't tried it with McDonald's. It hasn't become an issue yet because I haven't left the drive-thru without having what I thought I wanted. But let's say Wendy's, I can go back at a later time. I'm talking like 20 to 30 minutes later. Like I got the drive-thru, I got home, and I found that my order had been done incorrectly. I'll go back, I'll explain that, politely, and ask if it's possible that this can be corrected, and usually they do. That night with the Wendy's, they promptly replaced 2 chicken sandwiches, didn't ask for the other ones back, and just had me on my way. There was no fuss. So I can tell you, in terms of customer support, for the most part, the local fast food restaurants would get my vote of confidence. Not all. Like the local Taco Bell is absolutely terrible. And McDonald's is abysmally slow. And I wonder if it's because they are understaffed or because the staff there aren't paid well enough to care. Either one of those is a possibility, and in either case, I'm not prepared to blame the staff directly. Now, back into the reviews here. We'll start with Jessica M. It's good. It was very fresh. Ampersand warm. Exclamation point, ampersand, had no wait time. Exclamation point. That is, to me, a duplicated formatting, and I don't feel that this was written by a human being. It's a very brief, uninformative 5-star review, and my own personal experience tells me that this can't possibly be true. Not unless a miracle happened on that day. The other issue is even the spacing. Spelling is completely right, even though a review this brief is probably one that would have been written in haste. And if it was, you would expect a few more shortcuts besides the ampersand. But no, it's formatted neatly. Then I go to this next one. 1 star, Thomas B. They did not put any egg on my steak, egg, and cheese bagel. You really think that was worth $11 and change? Now that feels like a real review for this particular McDonald's. And I can't imagine them paying a bot to come around and write really bad reviews. So I feel that this was legitimate. They disliked, they marked it off, disliked steak, egg, cheese, bacon, this bagel thing, and all that. And that was September 30th, 2023. This one up here, January 25th, 2024. Next, I'm not going to go through them all. There's 91. That'll take a while, but I'm just going to go through enough to make my point, I feel. They didn't... At the end, they didn't send me my 40-piece nuggets. Only sent the fries. Let me just check. That might be the text from Skype. Yep. Order is picked up and Dasher's on the way. Alright, just be careful. It's below freezing. There's ice and snow out there, so just be particularly careful. The other reason is I don't know if I said it earlier, I'm in a wheelchair right now after sustaining an injury last month. And I'm not yet cleared to begin trying to walk on this foot, and if I could, I'm not confident that I could use it to manipulate the pedals of my car. So I'm little or a lot nervous about going out into post snow and ice, like fresh from this morning weather, again after that happened. So I'm not prepared to drive out there for myself, and I don't think that I'm physically capable. Anyway, that's an oversight. A 40-piece McNuggets didn't make it into the meal. That's like the biggest chunk of that meal, and you gave the Dasher some fries. Now, the other issue I have is that the DoorDasher is usually not given enough information to make sure that the order is picked up and correctly done. I'm probably not paid enough to care about doing that either. Now, I try to give a minimum of a $5 tip. That's what I did with this. What I will usually do is just round out the tip to the next... If I'm at, I don't know, $27, I'll tip it to where I'll give them enough that the bill rounds out to a round number, like $35 with the 00 cents at the end, and that'll be the money that I give. So yeah, that's a huge oversight. I'm one of them. 5 people found this review helpful. I am astonished that a 40-piece McNuggets was overlooked and allowed to go out. But again, the problem with this and a lot of the other McDonald's just around this region is that they are... Hold on. Okay, apparently my order is already coming up. That's pretty phenomenal. So I'm going to come back to this. Alright, so I had McDonald's arrived fairly timely manner, not Speedy Gonzalez style, but fast enough, and it was warm. It is, it's down 22, 23 degrees Fahrenheit out there tonight, so it sat on the stoop. It took me a little effort to get it because I'm in a wheelchair. And they didn't put it close to the door like I specifically asked them to do, so I had to get down on the floor to reach over to it. So, but anyway, I can report that the meal came exactly as ordered, everything that I asked for and the state that I asked it for. So I have no complaints there, and honestly no complaints about the time it took to get here either. So let me just quickly go over a few points there. So the order I placed was 4 cheeseburgers, the regular single 1/10 pound cheeseburgers at $3.88 each, which is a little more than if I went directly to the store, and 1 large soda at $2.99. There was an attached delivery fee. It was only 49 cents. It was marked down from like $2.49 on the DoorDash site. And then we have fees and estimated tax. Comes to $4.60. So I went to that little info tooltip thing next to service fee, and this is what I pulled up, or what comes up. It's broken down into 2 fees: the tax and the service fee, which to me isn't that also a delivery fee? Anyway, here's what they say: $3 described. It's described this way: this 15.0% service fee and a minimum of $3 helps us operate DoorDash. So I did the math, and I know that the 15% of $18.51, that's what it came to before taxes, is $2.78. So that minimum of $3 means That's why I got that 3, of course, and that's an additional 22 cents on top of the 15%. It will, over 3, it'll just increase to go with that 15%, so that if he gets worse, the higher up above the 20. It's at $20 that you're actually getting that proper 15%, and that is the only time it's actually 15%, is if your order, including your delivery fee, I think, comes to $20. Then the only time it's actually 15%, well, $3 is actually 15%, is that. It'll still be 15%, but it'll be an increasing value at that point. Underneath, it will be greater than 15%. So right now, okay, so that $3 that I was charged comes to 16 point. Oh, it's nuts. Okay. 16.20745544294976% service fee as a result. So it's only 15% if you go over a certain amount. It's actually higher than that the lower you go. I mean, it's still at a minimum of $3. But yeah, that particular pricing model means that it's actually not. It becomes more imbalanced the less you order. Yet it becomes more expensive if you order more. So it, no matter what, it benefits them. Which that's what they're going to go for. After that, we have an estimated tax of $1.60, saying that. On the tooltip notes that the finalized tax will be shown on your order receipt. They did match, usually does. It's nice to think that you can get the price put up on your, I use the website, not the app, but on your screen, and not actually be guaranteed that the money, that the number you're seeing is actually the number you'll be paying. I added a $5 tip, because I like to be good to the drivers. I'm a little concerned tonight. As I said, it's lower 20s out. It just snowed this morning, and it became, there's ice and snow out there. I don't want them out there driving for no reason at all, or for low, abysmal rates from a company that really doesn't treat anybody right but themselves, and only at the highest levels. So yeah, $5 tip. The end result there was $28.60 spent on 4 cheeseburgers and a soda. They, before taxes, only came to $18.51, and that includes whatever the hell markup DoorDash actually adds to the items on their that they present on the menus for these different restaurants. Because I went and checked an alternate website called fastfoodmenuprices.com to see a very, very different list of prices, although I couldn't find the exact price for the large drink. I do know that it was in this scenario, at least, it was a couple of cents more for, if I can find it, a cheeseburger. Okay, $3.69, and I paid for $3.88, so 19 cents more per burger. That markup isn't too bad. I've noticed it far more noticeable. And I don't usually use DoorDash. I would rather drive out myself and pick up the item. I could place an order for pickup on DoorDash, but that seems like a waste of time. So I'd rather just go to the place and place the order then and there and deal with it that way. And that eliminates driver tip. And I apologize to DoorDash drivers, but But it eliminates that tip, it eliminates all the extra fees and the markup, and just gets you, sadly, what is going to be your best possible price outside of just not buying from the restaurant in the first place. So yeah, that is an extra $10.09. That includes the tip and everything else. Added to an order of just 4 cheeseburgers and a large soda. So, take from that what you will. But back to the reviews now. This next is a 1-star. They didn't. Oh, that's all right. Jason I, lowercase j, 1-star review on May 23rd, 2022. That's a while ago. But let's see. The crispy chicken sandwich and the combo meal had absolutely nothing on it except for 1 pickle. I did not order it a special way, so they must have gave me someone else's sandwich. Also bought, I guess you meant, large fries or ice cold. The fries from that one usually are, to be honest. Like, order them, but they're not guaranteed fresh, and I have rarely ever come away with them being anything less than about room temperature. Like, cooked, sure, but it's like they're not kept heated up and they're not fresh. They've just kind of been sitting there in the fryer or wherever the hell they're sitting there in the back, and they just scoop them out with, I pray, a gloved hand or tongs or whatever, and stuff them in the bag. But large fries are ice cold. $30 is a lot of money these days to not get what you want. That's true, but let me just say this. You're spending money for their goods and their services. Your money is being used in exchange for it. Whatever else is happening, you are the customer, and the expectation is that if you're spending money, for whatever the price that they've listed it at, that you should be getting what you actually asked for. This is the first time I ever ordered from DoorDash, and it will be my last. Shake my head. I always thought that was so much hate, and in a lot of these scenarios, I feel like the so much hate is the more accurate way of putting it, but yeah. Make it your policy. Well, with DoorDash, it's a little hard, but I'd say make it your policy to always check that your order is filled correctly, at least at these fast food chains, and especially during busy times. You don't have to be an asshole about it. It never has to be that way. You can be courteous. You can just politely explain, listen, this is what I ordered, but this is what I got, and I just hope we could fix this before I leave. I'm not trying to be a pain in your ass. I realize I'm bread and buttering it. I'm going really laying it on thick here. I realize you're busy and all. You don't have to be all that, but no, don't raise your voice. No profanity or derisive language or any of that. Just simple politeness, like I said. When I did. I told them that I did, but I went to that Wendy's, and it was a half an hour later when I returned, and I went to the drive-thru because it's late at night in there. The dine-in is no longer open at that hour, so I was just like, listen, I wasn't chicken sandwiches, it was burgers. I ordered these 2 burgers, and I ordered them without onions. I hate onions, and I hate pickles. It's a textural issue. As I'm high-functioning autistic, it's one of those things for me. So I always order that type of stuff off of burgers, or any other kind of sandwich that I get. It's not the only 2 things that I would order off, but that's the only 2, well, there were no pickles. But there were onions on the sandwich that was available at Wendy's at that time. It's no longer on their menu. But anyway, I had ordered it without the onions. Got the order, and I left the drive-thru that night without actually checking the burgers. Like I would normally have to pull away from the window, but I go to the parking lot and open the bag, pull out one of them. And my feeling is, as long as one of them is correct, that there's at least a chance that the other one also is. So I pulled out and checked it, or didn't check it that night. I got home, and that's when I finally opened it up, and I see that, in fact, it was slathered in onions, and I can't deal with the texture of that, and I don't want to have to scrape it all off. I'm also going to lose a whole lot of that delicious bourbon sauce at that time. I don't want that. So it's like, I ordered this in a very particular way. I can actually check the receipt and see that they got it down correctly, but I got the wrong, but the burgers were given to me incorrectly. But I ordered what I actually wanted. And I don't want to miss out on the sauce, and I don't feel like I should have to sit here and scrape shit off. So I gathered the 2 burgers, I got back in my car, and I drove back out there to that Wendy's, and I went through that drive-thru, and I said, I got up to the window, and I said, listen, I was here maybe 30, 40 minutes ago. I placed an order. for these 2 burgers, and I ordered them without onions, and I didn't check at the drive-thru. I didn't realize it, but when I got home I saw that they were both completely covered in onions, and I can't eat them, and I'm hoping, is there a way that I can, that we can fix this? And they said, oh yeah, absolutely. So you said it was that, but without the onions. I said, yes, that's correct. Okay, come up to the window. No fuss. Don't have to be an asshole about it. You might have a bad day. There's no telling what exactly your story is, but I can understand if you're a little short on patience or temper. But I learned a long time ago that it's often really not on the customer service people, the people at the desk, the people that are actually talking to you are not, first of all, they're almost never the ones in the position to make any kind of authoritative decision about a thing. They can do what they can to help you, but they have their instructions. They have their very specific guides on how to handle a customer. And almost always those rule sets, those routines that they have to follow are just about how to beat around the bush and get you so damned exhausted with the process that they're just done, that the customer will give up and walk away and not have to ever worry about actually providing a service or admitting a wrong. Probably just as true at a fast food restaurant. There are certainly workers with attitudes, and if they have an attitude, that is on them. They certainly should not be speaking to customers in a hostile kind of way. I definitely acknowledge that it can be invited, but I don't think it's always that way. But anyway, back to this. But I was saying, I'm just saying, if your order is wrong, I made it my policy that I'll go up to the register. Hell, if I'm standing at the register and that's where they hand me the food, I will actually check the food right there just to make sure. Like cursory, like I'm going to make sure that everything that I ordered is accounted for. If something is missing, I'll bring it up. And if I'm going to be eating in the restaurant, I'll sit at the table, and then I'll look and see if the food has been prepared the way that I asked, and if it's not, then I'll talk about that. Don't be afraid to simply say, listen, I'm not satisfied with this. And I mean, say it, not yell it, not bellow it, not get all snarky, none of that. I understand that it can be sort of a cathartic way of communicating, but it is never very productive to do that. But yeah, make it your policy to assert yourself. You're paying them money for a service. You're carefully asking. Hopefully you've done that part politely, so they have no reason to not try to accommodate you as you are a customer and you are paying them. You are not responsible for their shitty wages or their poor working environment. That's not the fault of the customer. That is either the management or the franchise owner that is responsible for terrible working conditions, for fostering an atmosphere where there is resent. That kind of thing is not on the customer. I mean, it depends on the customer. Some customers are foul, can be like racist or homophobic, just weirdly bigoted, hostile kind of mindset that's just out of place in civilized society. There are definitely those kinds of customers. They're not right for any reason. The only application for the customer is always right is, this is the order that I placed. This is what I asked for and what I am paying for. Therefore, it is what I am expecting to receive. I also do not dig grocery stores if you're shopping online and they'll just take it on themselves to substitute whatever for anything that was out of stock. I'll usually just choose for them not to, because they're really bad at it, or they'll do substitutions that are practically non sequiturs. Like, what the hell has that got to do with what you didn't have in stock? It's not even in the same family of items. I don't get it. So I don't even allow that to happen, because they're very unreliable about it. As I said, most of the time the shoppers or whoever, they're operating on a deadline under strict rules, probably with some kind of a quota that they got to meet or whatever. So there's pressure That's just not fair for them. I'm saying if the customer and the service worker can try to be on the same level, it can be more peaceful. The hate, the anger for the let's say bullshit prices, the poor quality of service can often be most accurately directed again at the management or even higher than them, because the conditions that make the customer miserable are often the result of corners being cut, of lower wages, of a stressful work environment where the crew are just not really up to it. They can't be bothered because it's just not a great place. But the customer is not usually the reason for that. So I'm rambling a lot. So back to this. The next one is a 5-star. Paul M. Good eat, yo. Space. Tons of exclamation points. Very good. On January 4th, 2024. What the hell is that? What kind of review? Good eat, yo. Huh? It's brief. It's one line. It contains an inordinate amount of punctuation with spaces between the letters and the punctuation itself, and it does not feel like a real review. It's at 5 stars. It's extremely uninformative, but it has highlighted this. So, a deluxe spicy McCrisp, whatever the hell that is, with the burger. It's a whole meal. It's got the fries included, 2 cheeseburger meal, and a 10-piece McNuggets. It's a big meal. But good eat ya. Very good. I mean, why? Why would you take the time to get on, highlight 5 stars, and put that nonsense into the review? If you're in that much of a hurry, why are you going to bother? You got what you wanted. Do you even care after that? So, that feels fake. Like an AI or a bot-generated review, which nobody marked as helpful. I'm going to mark this one as helpful. Then we have Amy S. 1 star. Not 13 cookies as pictured, cold fries, and no drink for my meal. So let's see. 13 cookie tote. I'm not really sure what you're talking about as pictured. That picture that I'm looking at is a single half-eaten cookie next to a yellow box type thing, and that does not show me anything more. So if you didn't get it as pictured, that's fine. That means you didn't get a half-eaten cookie. But if your count is you didn't get the baker's dozen that you were promised on the menu, that's problematic. You said cold fries and no drink for my meal. Now I'm looking here. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, 2 cheeseburger meal. All right, no drink for that. So, all right. So it came incomplete. That seems to be a big part of the review process. It goes onto DoorDash. I sometimes people might be thinking they're reviewing DoorDash and not the restaurant specifically with these. All right, here we go. Oh, another 5-star. Aaron O. 5-star. Apple pie slaps, and I'm obsessed with Dr. Pepper. There is punctuation here with this apostrophe, but they leave the period out of the Dr. Pepper. Let's see. Big Mac meal. Meal. Okay, you're obsessed. There's an apple pie. You're obsessed with Dr. Pepper. And I guess that is why you ordered 2 meals with drinks. I mean, it's totally possible that it's not just one person. But what a weird review. June 19, 2023. It's not very informative. Again, I mean, okay, the apple pie slaps. Okay, great. And if it didn't scald you, that much better. And I'm obsessed with Dr. Pepper. What? To me, that's a very odd inclusion, actually. I don't know how many people tend to make these things biographical. I know that I'm rambling on about my own personal preferences and such on this, but I don't know how many people go out of their way to make these types of reviews biographical. But again, it's a 5-star with a single line. And I'm weirded out by the punctuation here, but not here. It doesn't make sense. So I'm thinking that this is a bot, even though 4 people have somehow marked this off as helpful. Alright, we have Maureen T. Nuggets were a bit overcooked, that's 2 words, but the fries and burger were great. 20-piece McNuggets, hamburger Happy Meal, and a vanilla Bravo-ish vanilla shake. Yeah, I love their meal. original shakes. I don't know why I didn't order them. Oh, right, because I'm not trying to be a fatty anymore. French fries, Dr. Pepper, wow. The fries and the burger were great. Let's see, yeah, hamburger happy meal. We had a little happy meal. So, it's a hamburger happy meal. Did you order a happy meal for yourself? Okay, with a 20-piece McNuggets. Alright, well, nobody marked it off. It's a single line. This is only a 4-star review, March 6, 2023. Nuggets were a bit overcooked. Again, it's one single line. It's at least this one can be classified as informative. But it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel human. Alright, Greg L, 4 stars. This one's a few lines. Let's see. They gave me all the nice condiments I ordered for my English muffin and everything else, except forgot the English muffin. Good thing I'm a PIG, because that's spaced apart, and ordered like 3 breakfasts worth of food for myself. I see hotcakes, oatmeal, mocha, iced coffee, biscuit, scrambled eggs, English McMuffin, 2 half strips of bacon, image didn't load, honey packet, butter, okay, grape jam, strawberry preserve, mild picante salsa, hot picante salsa, syrup. You ordered both the mild and the hot, sugar packet. Alright, well, according to the review, this all was ordered for yourself, so you ordered both mild and hot? I find that odd. Just, if you're already going to go for the spicy, why bother with the mild then too? Unless it was something separate. And for all of that, you just didn't get that English muffin. It looks like you got everything else that was a part of that. So, cool. And a 4-star review. And yet, for some reason, it feels like a bot. Because you just gave them 4 stars when they left the whole ass item out of your order. And probably still charged you for it. Oh, and I just noticed this emoji. Emote at the end. A little dash sign, smiley face thing. Let's see. February 28th, 2022. So that's just about 2 years ago. Alright, 1 or 2 more of these and I'm done. Alright, we got Victoria M, 4-star review. The steak biscuit was juicy. So just a little too salty for my liking. I love it, because if I see a typo, I'm going to assume human factor. But I start to think that bots can be programmed to cleverly include little typos here and there to kind of throw one off the scent. But honestly, it's only 4 stars. It's November 10th, 2022, and this doesn't feel fake at this point. I mean, I know it's not. I mean, it's informative enough, but it's not a 5-star, and it's not just a whole punctuation-riddled mess of weirdly auto feeling. This just feels like you took the time to come on here and say a little something. Perhaps you were asked to at a later time by a text message on DoorDash or something, but who knows. So, alright. 2 more I'm going to say. Alright, so Alex R, 4-star review. September 24th, 2022. Fries tasted old. Probably they were. Friday night at 2:30-ish, nearly an hour long when it said half the time. Yeah, I'd say all the people with the munchies are sitting in that drive-thru at that hour. I've been there on Sunday night at that hour, and it's insane. That is backed up to the road, practically to the highway. It's, probably said it earlier, this is a McDonald's situated in a public parking lot, and it's across the way from, there's an Applebee's in that same lot. Now there's a street that ends in a traffic light that goes onto a highway, but the other end just feeds right into the parking lot, so it's not a heavy traffic or anything like that. But I've seen it at 2:32 in the morning or whatever, where the line, they have closed the one drive-thru down, so it's down to the one drive-thru, and that line will have backed all the way out onto that road and almost up to the light. I've actually gotten in the line like that, and only stayed in it because I really couldn't go anywhere else once I was in it. So I figured I'm in it for the long haul then, so I went with it. But it's a hell of a wait, because I guess they're understaffed at that hour. They might be at all hours, but they seem to be dragging their feet. it seems to take a very long time for each customer to get served, just one by one basis, so it takes forever for just one to move up one single space in the drive-through line too. So I can understand at that hour, at that time, why it would take so long to get your meal. Alright, here we go. One last one. Andrew H., 2 stars. Ordered, you have this underlined? It's a link, okay. Crispy chicken sandwich meal. And the chicken patty was replaced with a McChicken patty and burnt. Wait, those aren't the same thing? The chicken patty was replaced with a McChicken patty? I'm confused, because that's a McCrispy meal that you have listed down there. I'm confused. Never received McCafe blueberry muffin. The blueberry and cream pie was good though. Last time I ordered Dash from here. So, the order on which this review had been, this is by the way January 16, 2023, only shows the McCrispy meal. So, McCafe blueberry muffin, the blueberry and cream pie was good though, blah blah blah. I'm confused. Your order down here doesn't reflect what you're talking about here. And what the hell do you mean when the chicken patty was replaced with a McChicken patty? The Mick is a different kind of thing? I don't get it. So oddly enough, I don't think this review is real. I don't necessarily think it's a bot, but I don't think it was well thought out. I don't really know. Feel free to, comment your own theories or ideas on anything that I've talked about so far. I mean, I think the DoorDash is just a great big scam anyway. I mean, yeah, you get your deliveries and all, but it's an obnoxiously abusive hustle as far as I'm concerned, and I hate it. I absolutely despise it. And I hate that I could go to Grubhub, I guess. I could go to, I think there's at least one other. But I hate it because I'm stuck in a wheelchair and I can't drive anywhere for myself. So I kind of am stuck using it for now. If, I want to order fast food for whatever reason, I'm comfortable with the healthier meals that I've been eating lately. So yeah, this is strange to me, this last one, because it's only a 2-star review. This doesn't really benefit McDonald's or DoorDash in any kind of way, but it is weird. Every other time I've seen anybody discussing their order, I've gone through this little thing at the bottom to see what all, and everything they discussed was a part of that. It wasn't here. It's not listed here, so I don't know what that's about. I don't actually know how this works. Does the person have to choose a specific order that they are they're basing the review on? Do they have to go through and select the items that they ordered and they're reviewing on? I don't know. I guess I could try to write a review myself just to see. Just to see how that process goes. Add a review. I'm not seeing it because I'm not gonna. Okay. Well. So that's my thing about DoorDash. I don't trust it exactly. I'm not really in a position to make much choice on the matter, except to probably go to like Grubhub. But I don't know how they work. I do have an alternate option for one other thing. I can go to Slice for pizzas. At least that's a lot less stacked on the delivery fees and shit. So that's good. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, anyway. So this has been Jack blabbering on about this, and hope I made sense. Feel free to let me know. Say whatever. I'll even, take some questions, I guess. Signing off.